It's an irony of sorts that even 76 years after independence, the colonial hangover of the so-called Lal Batti culture is prominent and prevalent in the country. VVIP culture received an open endorsement from Karnataka Speaker UT Khadr himself today. Within the assembly, Khadr urged PWD Minister Satish Jarkioli to ensure that VIP lanes for MLAs at national highways are implemented. Also asked him to bring all the former MLAs under this ambit. Khadr came up with this demand after Congress MLA Narendra Swamy and Abhaya Prasad have alleged harassment and manhandling at the hands, allegedly, of toll employees. However, after a massive political storm, Khadr took a U-turn and said that there's no question of a new lane as it practically is impossible. Listen in.
ಅವರನ್ನು ಕರೆಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ವಿಐಪಿ ಲೈನ್ ಅವರ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮಾಜಿ ಶಾಸಕರು ಕೂಡ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಚರ್ಚೆ
One MLA was harassed by a tall person. Narendra Swamy is the MLA. And here there is a question in the calling letters in the assembly. And the issue was one thing, the irresponsible way of behaving of this toll staff. Second thing is they don't have an emergency and a separate lane. See, every toll there is an emergency, but in the Mysore Bangalore road, in this toll, this was not there. No, there is no question of separate VVIP lane, and it's not practical also.
It's imperative to note that legislators do not have to pay toll on national highways as per rules of NHAI. On the other hand, revenue collected from the Karnataka citizens during 2018 to 2022, brace yourself, is a whopping 9,983 crores. Yes, in 4 years, it's close to 10,000 crores. This VVIP culture sparked a massive debate with leaders of the BJP training the guns at the Congress, alleging that VVIP culture is in Congress's blood.
There's also issue of separate lanes for ministers and MLAs, sir. What do you have to say on that?
That is a VIP culture we are not allowed. It is very surprising that the speaker has allowed it. Probably under the pressure of our esteemed friends in the Congress, he has done it.
Absolutely. This is an entire issue which has been part of the VIP culture. How can you have streets dedicated to VIP movement? If the VIP is in such an urgency, he has to travel with the common man. Ultimately, he is answerable to the common man. The common man has put him where he is. And to say that he will not be using that road, I mean, it's the height of the kind of VIP culture that they are practicing.
The special privileges have been demanded by Karnataka lawmakers even when they get over 2 lakhs in remuneration per month apart from other perks. In fact, not only for legislators, but UT Khadr also demanded to bring former legislators of Karnataka Assembly under this policy who get a pension of 50,000 rupees per month even if they've just held the seat once or even for a few weeks or months. There's also a provision of an additional 5,000 rupees for consecutive terms. What is astonishing is that Congress has also justified the demand of Speaker UT Khadr, claiming that there's nothing wrong in asking for a separate lane for MLAs. Listen in.
No, so there should be a priority. See that, like we say, we have this one for ambulances and all this. You know, MLAs has got that prerogative. This one everywhere. So it's told that nothing wrong.
So this would be different rules for the common man and different rules
that is there for a minister. For a home minister, there are zero traffic thing. These are all incorporated way back. It's not UT Khadr is proposing.
Usually प्रतिनिधि होता है कहीं ना कहीं बहुत सारा प्रोग्राम अटेंड करना रहता है, उनके अपने अपने ये रहता है, तो वो उस एंगल पे बोला होगा, उस पे गलत कोई ये नहीं है, वो प्रतिनिधि लोगों के लिए इस पे कोई गलत नहीं है, मेरा जो व्यक्तिगत व्यू है.
The speaker has said a separate lane for MLAs and ministers. Do you agree with that?
Yes, definitely there should be, because the government vehicle, elected representative vehicles, and all these things should be treated in a separate lane. No, you know, all the time this kind of nuisance happens means. Do you want us to make quarrel with them? we will be in the public issues. We will be moving around here and there. If these people are traveling or the queue we have to follow means, how much time we are going to lose?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest joining us. We have with us Vijay Prashad, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP. Also with us is Amrish Shenoy, political analyst. We have with us also Brajesh Kalappa, leader of the Aam Aadmi Party. Joining us on the broadcast is also Dr. Anand Raghunathan, author. He continues to be with us from the first debate. Priya Chetty Rajgopalan is a citizen's voice. We have with us Bejon Mishra, consumer rights activist, joining us from Hyderabad, and also Nikhil Jain, advocate and political analyst. Let me start first and foremost with several citizens of Bengaluru who are with us. And let me start with Priya Chetty Rajgopalan. Priya Chetty Rajgopalan, as a common citizen, as a citizen who travels by highways, perhaps has stood in line in toll gates, you know, how does it make you feel when these MLAs not just say that we shouldn't stand in line or there should be a separate lane for us, they're even objecting to their passes being checked by the toll operators? What kind of entitlement breeds this attitude?
Clearly, they come from a different universe, Madhav. There's no question about that.
Yesterday, to my thought, and everything went off pretty smoothly. But what concerns me is the fact that something which is an incident that can affect anybody, it can affect you or me, somebody checks, somebody's not very polite or whatever, can be extrapolated to cover an entire class of people, which means that in order for me not to be exposed to this kind of, not very respectful attitude, an entire new category has to be created. I think that is really the outside of enough. Because all of us are exposed to this on a day-to-day basis. The fact is, you don't keep creating categories of, will there be a separate category in a ration shop? Will there be a separate category for getting a SIM card? What is it and where will it end?
Right.
So, yes, I think it's pretty clear that most people are very galled by what has happened. But to give the gentleman credit, I think eventually he has realized that this is not something that, will stick. So he's backed out from his claim.
Yeah,
but what it is.
But the root cause, the mentality remains the same. And, after the session, there are still those who are demanding it. Mind you, there are several top leaders. Some of their bites we have played. We'll play out some more. Prasad Bidappa also joining us. Prasad, I'm just going to come to you in a minute, but I quickly want to take this across to some of our political panelists. Nikhil Jain,
yes.
It's absolutely shocking that in today's day and age, MLA Narendra Swamy says, I don't want to show my pass. I don't even want to be checked. They should be briefed. All toll operators should know the vehicles, the faces of all the MLAs, all the 224 MLAs in Karnataka. I mean, that's just ridiculous for an MLA to say that. Is this an issue of public concern? Is this why these people are elected to power?
See, Madhav, whenever we talk about special privileges for MLAs, MPs and other public servants, we are always forgetting this one fact that it is not a privilege or a perk per se. It is something that they require to function their duties. These are public representatives, and let's not forget that every single MLA.
Oh, really? That their passes should not be checked.
Of them, but let's not forget
what
that
are they from Mars?
MLA is representing hundreds and...
How are toll operators supposed to know their MLAs? What is the problem with showing their pass?
No.
The common man has to stand for half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hours at times when there are jams, when there are rains, when there are floods, and they can't spare a few minutes to show their pass? Where is this entitlement coming from, sir?
Madhav, it is not about passes being shown. It is simply about certain privileges.
Yes, it is. Let me just read out,
that
sir.
have to be afforded to public representatives as well as public servants, because
Nikhil Jain, I think you have not heard what Mr. Narendra Swamy said in the assembly.
An MLA or an MP is not just a person.
Let me just read out one sentence that he said that will set the record straight. This is what the MLA Narendra Swamy says. He says, our pass was scrutinized as if it was being checked in a police investigation and the personnel behaved like gundas. I can understand, bad behavior being objected to. But what do you mean by a pass was checked as though we are under investigation? If he's an MLA and he's seeking an exemption, he has to show his pass. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
See, Madhav, that is what he's pointing out to. That the manner of the officials at the toll booth was not to the appropriate mark. See, if a cop asks me to show me my license, I show my license, and he pulls me out and he questions me about it for 10 minutes. Even I'm going to say the same thing.
Okay.
You are going to say the same thing.
So the common man can stand in line.
Checked. It is about the pass being scrutinized.
Yes, so the common man can stand in line, but even 30 seconds for the Neta is very difficult.
Stand in line in the same manner.
30 seconds for the common man is very difficult to spare.
I am not an elected official. I am not a government servant, but
yeah. But you're speaking for them, sir. You're speaking for them on the panel.
I am a common man. I am not an elected official.
So why are you speaking the language of a politician then?
I am not speaking. I am not trying to speak the language of a politician. I'm just trying to put another point of view to your viewers that whenever certain privileges or perks are given to MLAs or government servants,
I want Bijan Mishra to come in on this.
To an individual, it is a
Bijan
facility
Mishra,
being afforded.
Does this argument make any sense? And in fact, let me just quickly inform our viewers, we're also getting our viewers in. We want you to call us, to express yourselves.
Not at all.
And tell us really what you think about this kind of an attitude. Is this acceptable today? In today's India, where Lal Batti culture has been abolished, is this attitude of our netas acceptable at all? Before I come across to you, Bijan Mishra, we have Sudhir joining us. Yes, Sudhir.
Like we should not go back 20 years back in the time. This is very unfair of Congress to do this. They should go through the same road that we travel through and see what we go through every single day.
Absolutely. That's what netas across various political parties should do, because there are some netas in the other side of the political spectrum who support this as well. Vikram is our next viewer joining us from Mumbai. Yes, Vikram. Vikram, can you hear me? Or I think we've lost that line. Yes, Bijan Mishra, you wanted to come in, you wanted to respond to Nikhil Jain.
No, I just wanted to say that why this discrimination? The days have gone now. You see, we have to understand there is nothing called VVIPs now. The days have gone. They have to understand that they need to behave like a common citizen. And if they feel that they should not be checked, then they should make such technological innovations to be brought in where they can get a kind of a seamless entry. So all the citizens need the same kind of facilities. I also don't want to be checked, but I have to be checked because there is a payment involved, there is a financial transaction involved. So if they want free bees to be given to them, then they have to take care of such tolerances which they have to go through. And they can't say that there will be a VIP lane, I have to have a special pass, nobody can check me. Those days have gone now. This is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
I think it is nothing but, arrogance.
Absolutely.
They are arrogant. You see, they need to now get trimmed. They need to be trimmed now. You see, we have to bring in laws. I hope the Honorable Chief Justice of India is listening to all this.
Absolutely.
He should intervene and bring a law.
Certainly.
That all these VVIP culture should go.
Certainly, and in fact, the very reason why this exemption has come in 2008 itself is questionable, because this is taxpayer money. Do citizens of this country actually think this is the best way forward for our assemblies to debate? These are the kind of issues that should be debated, number one, and this is the kind of exemptions that should be given for elected leaders. Let's quickly take this across to some more viewers who are with us. Commander Saxena is with us. Yes, Commander Saxena.
Yeah, good evening, Madhav. You know, this gentleman who was there on your debate, Mr. Jain, he's a pseudo political analyst. Every day he comes and talks about in support of Congress. So today he has got no choice but then to support that MLA who's asking a VVIP lane. We should feel ashamed. We do not have a separate lane for our ambulance, police vehicles, emergency vehicles, but this man is asking for a MLA not to be checked. He's a pseudo man. This Mr. Jain, he comes every day as a pseudo-political analyst.
Okay. I don't want to get personal. Let's not make personal comments, please. And I would also request all our panelists and all our callers to temper their language. Raju is with us. All right. Parthiv from Bengaluru. Yes, Parthiv. Parthiv, can you hear me? All right. We have Ramkrishna now joining us from Bengaluru. Yes, Ramkrishna. All right, I think we've lost both those lines. Let me quickly bring in Prasad Bidappa on this. Prasad, as a citizen, when you see this kind of entitlement of our netas, as a citizen of Bengaluru and of course a citizen of India, you're a noted face. What does that make you feel? Where does this entitlement come from? Promises to citizens may not have been delivered, but VVIP, exemptions will have to be delivered immediately. Where does this mentality arise from?
Why are we even surprised? Haven't we seen 75 years of entitlement happen? This is something that all of us are used to. But first of all, it seems to be such a non-issue because we all use FASTags to get through a toll gate. It takes me precisely 10 seconds to get through a toll gate. So give them a FASTag that has a little face of whoever they want to on it and let them go through fast. I don't understand why they get 10 cars coming in through the toll gate. So it's not just the MLA's car. It's his hangers-on, his family, his gundas. Everyone wants to come through for free. And that's where the argument begins to happen. It's not just a one-on-one. The poor toll operator is trying to prevent 10 cars from going in with the MLA. And I think that's where the problem really begins. But just like George Orwell said a long time ago, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And we are seeing the living proof of that in Bengaluru today.
Very well articulated, Prasad Bitappa, in your own style. I think you've very clearly sort of broken that down for our viewers. And I want to bring in Brajesh Kalapa. Brajesh Kalapa, you're from the Aam Aadmi Party, a party that speaks up for the common man. At the end of the day, where does this kind of issue, where does this mentality, and Prasad Bitappa, I think, has rightly put it, it's not just about that one car. There may be 20 hangers-on or 10 hangers-on who may be following that car and who may demand similar exemptions and privileges.
See, Madhav, in Karnataka, you just spoke about 224 MLAs, but there are also 60 MLCs, and there are 28 MPs, and there are 12 MPs of the Rajya Sabha. So you're speaking of a large group, and you must remember that many of these people whom I've mentioned are related to each other, because 40% of the politicians bring their own family along into politics, and they handhold them into becoming MLAs and MLCs and so on and so forth. So this is a kind of milieu that we are in, and naturally, once a certain family has moved beyond a particular level, then they would expect that everybody along with them then must be treated as unequal to the others. And this is the whole problem. This is where we are currently, and this is the reason why we are facing such a lot of problem insofar as VIP racism is concerned. Let me just, highlight one more point. There is this famous Balabrui. The Balabrui guest house is now going to apparently become an MLA's club. Can you imagine a place where Rabindranath Tagore wrote the Gitanjali, a place where Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Nehru, they stayed? This place is going to become an MLA's club. Why do the MLAs need a club? What are they doing so special that they require a club? And are the other clubs really close to them?
Well, we'll certainly track that story, and I think that's a very important point you've raised, and certainly this is something that would incense citizens not just in Bengaluru but across the country. But Brajesh, I have to ask you this very important question, and this is a question that also stems from the basic concept of VVIP racism, because your Chief Minister in Delhi and your national convener, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who promised to shift out of a 3 BHK house saying it's too big for him, was recently accused of building up a Sheesh Mahal or a palace. Isn't that VVIP racism as well, sir?
No, Madhav, I think you should have had a full debate in regard to that. And I think the points have been answered by Prem Shankar Jha in his very beautiful piece, in which he has mentioned that this is an old house and restoration itself took a lot of time, took a lot of money. And if anywhere it ever says that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is going to stay here permanently, then I would give in to you. But these are homes meant for chief ministers. Chief ministers come, chief ministers go. Yes. And he's there for the time being. Are you going to hold him to it for all times?
Well, crores for curtains and designer marble, is that necessary for a chief minister's residence? We'll leave that open to our viewers to decide. I don't want to get into that debate and divert from this issue, but let's quickly go back to some of our viewers who are with us. AK Singh is with us from Jabalpur. Yes, Mr. Singh.
Yeah, this is Captain AK Singh here. Am I audible to you?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, there was a statement made recently by one gentleman on your panel, which says that the behavior of the people at the toll booth is not good, and hence the issue of this misbehavior by the VIPs and all. Please understand, the people sitting at toll booth are the lowest denominator in the earning levels. Okay, so you need to be having some amount of decency and humility. If you can just lower your window, show your VIP pass and move on, the issue is resolved. You don't need to have so much of ego. So simple humility will do.
Absolutely. And sometimes the netas lose any sense of humility or even basic understanding in dealing with people, and that arrogance is very often out on display. In this age of social media, there are a number of examples, not just in Karnataka but across the country, of heavy-handedness of our netas. Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Singh. Atul is our next viewer from Gurgaon. Yes, Atul.
धन्यवाद माधव जी. एक्चुअली इशू ये है कि बेसिकली लीडर्स चाहते हैं कि जनता जो उनकी भुगतती रहे, और दैट्स व्हाई दे शुड बी डिफरेंट। एक बड़े महापुरुष ने हमारे यहाँ कहा था, एक कैटल क्लास। तो बेसिकली बार बार वो हमें बोध कराना चाहते हैं कि भाई आप लोग तो इसी तरह चलेंगे, हम स्पेशल हैं तो स्पेशल तरीके से चलेंगे। ये जनता को समझना पड़ेगा और ज्यादा समय चलेगा नहीं। मेरे को तो आनंद जी की प्रतीक्षा है कि अभी वो क्या कहते हैं, लेकिन आई थिंक हालत खराब है, लेकिन ये परिवर्तन होगा और इसमें ज्यादा समय टिक नहीं पाएंगे।
ऑलराइट, विक्रम इज विद अस नाउ फ्रॉम मुंबई। यस विक्रम।
जनता को समझना पड़ेगा और ज्यादा समय चलेगा। मेरे को तो आनंद जी की प्रतीक्षा है कि वो क्या कहते हैं।
जी विक्रम, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, what is your comment, sir? How is this incident? What are your thoughts about this incident of VVIP racism?
Now this MLAs and all, they call them people's representative, but they want extrajudicial. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Make your point.
Yeah, and they are talking about time. And what about the time they waste while creating ruckus in Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha and spending? I mean.
Absolutely. That's a very good point you've made. Disruptions which are essentially a waste of taxpayer money, whichever be the party and whichever be the government, whoever's in treasury or opposition, that certainly is a very important point you've made as well. And lawmakers are very often responsible for that. Instead of making laws that they've been elected to, end up wasting time. Let's quickly take this across to Dr. Anand Raghunathan. Dr. Anand Raghunathan, end of the day, this VVIP mentality, this VVIP mindset, that just doesn't change. And what makes matters worse, particularly in Karnataka, is that the promises to the people are still pending.
No, absolutely, Madhav. And I think you just said it. Every politician cutting across party lines and ideologies indulges in this. So this is completely party agnostic. And on a lighter note, if my good friend Brajesh was in Congress still, he would have been absolutely blasting Arvind Kejriwal of Aam Aadmi Party for spending 50 crores on this Sheesh Mahal when Delhiites were crying out for lack of oxygen cylinders. And it's not just to say that bungalow is to be made for all chief ministers who would follow Kejriwal. The fact that why would a common man spend 3 crores on a Western commode or 2 crores or lakhs of money on toilets and on curtains? So it is not just the fact that he's spending money, it is the fact that he's spending so much of money for these amenities.
Right.
Now, as one of your panelists also said, like quoted George Orwell, all animals are equal, some are more equal than others. Well, Madhav, it is high time that these animals are brought to book. This particular politician or speaker has demeaned his office. Now, I'm not saying, as I said, that his shameful entitlement comes and naturally to him. But the fact is that he belongs to the Congress. This is not to say, as I said, other ministers and politicians not display equally repugnant and entitled behavior. All politicians do. If you remember, in the middle of the raging COVID pandemic 2 years ago, the Deve Gowda family had a marriage function where all social distancing rules were brazenly flouted.
Right.
20 seconds, Madhav. Once again, I apply the Anderson razor, which is that I don't blame Warren Anderson for escaping from Bhopal in the middle of the Bhopal gas disaster, because that is what cretins and criminals like him are supposed to do.
Right.
I blame Rajiv Gandhi for letting him escape.
Okay.
Likewise, I don't blame the Deve Gowda family for what he did. I blame the then Chief Minister, Mr. Yediyurappa, and the entire state machinery for allowing that marriage to go ahead. This is the reason why people don't follow laws in our country, because they see lawmakers violate the very same law.
And get away with it. And get away with it repeatedly. That's absolutely the important point that you've made. Time and again, they get away with it. Almost out of time. Vijay Prasad, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, is also with us. Mr. Vijay Prasad, I have a very pointed question. It's all very good to point fingers at the Congress. And some of your leaders have condemned what has been said by the Speaker and several leaders of the Congress. But you have two MLAs who are actually supporting this. S.R. Vishwanath says we cannot go in the general queue. We have to stop for half an hour or 1 hour in those lanes. So yes, there should be a separate lane for VIPs. R. Ashok, former minister again, says that everywhere they are stopped and inquired. What Speaker has done is correct. So this sense of entitlement cuts across party lines. Vijay Prasad?
Madhav, Madhav, this is really nauseating when someone is asking to be given a VVIP status, giving a separate VVIP lane. See, that means to say that the Congress's mindset, or that mindset, Lal Batti is gone, but the mindset is not gone. See,
so R. Ashok and Vishwanath also have Congress mindset?
No. See, at the same time, the Modi government is working towards eliminating toll plazas.
So and why is the message not percolated down to these leaders, sir?
No.
Will you reprimand them?
No. See,
will you ensure that action is taken against them?
No. Actually, we are surprised to hear this from the Speaker itself. having known the fact that, see,
then why are your leaders echoing what the speaker has said? That's what I'm asking you. That is what is perplexing me as a citizen.
Even it is perplexed that even our people are asking for this. See, how different is the MLA, people's representative? Actually, they are also a common man. They enjoy all the benefits. They enjoy all the benefits.
Mr. Vijay Prasad, we certainly hope you take this up within your party's forum, and this is an issue that all parties need to address. Not just the Congress, not just the BJP, not just the JDS, but perhaps all political parties are afflicted with this malaise. And as citizens of this country, every time you get stuck in a jam, stand in line at a toll plaza, stand in line at an airport, and you see VVIPs in fact breezing past, remember this. And remember the sense of entitlement that comes because they're so used to it, that they say, why should we even show our credentials to the people who are supposed to do so? That's the level to which their mentality has sunk. And that's very important for us as citizens to remember, because these are the people that we will elect tomorrow. Thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this evening.